This government is not serious about its own business. For years, this government has been stymieing the sittings of the National Assembly.
By now, Minister Ashley Singh, most of the people are aware that a lot of teachers, a lot of nurses, a lot of police, a lot of soldiers, a lot of phlebotomists, microscopists, lab technicians, medics, and the people in the public sector receive the cash grant.
Hey, I see the cash grant farm thing I want to follow out on the fucking internet. I don't know if people literate, illiterate, cross-literate, dissected, literate. I don't even fucking care.
Yes, Father. Yes, Father. Touch Guyana. Please, touch Guyana. Cover me with the blood of Jesus. I don't know what going on in this country right now.
Talk the things, me comfy talk the things, you hear? Talk the things, me comfy talk the things, you hear me? Talk the things, me comfy talk the things. Me no business, me no care if them screw face, whoa! Talk the things, me comfy talk the things, you hear me? Talk the things, me comfy talk the things, whoa! Talk the things, me comfy talk the things. Me no business, me no care if them no worried.
Neighbors, let me tell you things about Guyana. Let's start things TV. It's your boy Fire Feelings in the building. It's the weekend, yes. It's the freaking weekend, baby. It's Saturday, man. You know what it is, the 6th. Now we in the building with a fresh upload, a fresh update. I have to come and drop something on you definitely today. You know how the code go. Anyway, you see how the video start. You know what they're on the menu. You know what any pot bubbling. You know what they should not on the plate. So don't move a muscle. Stick around to the end of the content to get every little detail. You understand? So you're going on, like I said, if it's your first time over here, feel free to give the video a thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button and put your post notification bell. And remember, we are building and we not stop saying 50K by year end. Putting that works in. You know the code. You know what's up. Alright? So we're not going to waste no time. Let's jump into these topics that we got for you. Quick and fast. Let's get this.
Boom! Let's talk the thing is fire, fire. In the wire, over there. Adrian Dutchin, make sure you check out Let's Talk the Thing TV. Hey, YouTube in good again. All the tech ups, as my boy say. Let's talk the thing. Tell them from country. Tell them from tongue. Tell them from wherever. Let's talk the thing is love. Let's talk the thing TV. Fire, fire.
Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. Boy, today definitely we have a serious message from an MP from the APNU. I'm not too familiar with his name. You know, I'm not too familiar with enough of them name. I don't really. It is what it is. Left up to you guys. But basically, the message that he's sending out there to Guyanese people is to let you know positively, absolutely, directly, the government don't have no love and no time for the Guyanese citizen. Whether it's a PPP supporter or not. No, I know what I'm telling you. But I ain't gonna talk too much. Let me do the band forward and let he say what he got to say, and then we're gonna dissect it after. Let's get it.
This government is not serious about its own business. For years, this government has been stymieing the sittings of the National Assembly. We saw that in the 2020 to 2025 period, and here again in the 13th Parliament, we're seeing the same. But today is more alarming. This government boasted through the Attorney General about having a robust legislative agenda. This government spoke about how many bills and motions they are prepared to bring, they are going to table in the National Assembly so as to put forward development, policies and programs for our people. But here today in the National Assembly, on this, the 5th day of June, a date announced after much pressure from the international community and many other members of parliament that this government decided to have a sitting of the National Assembly. Started at 2 p.m. and by minutes to 4, the sitting was concluded. Date and time to be announced as usual. This government doesn't care about the Guyanese citizen. If they had cared about the Guyanese citizens, they would have been here today putting forward legislations that will uplift the lives of our people. They came today with 6 pieces of legislation, 6 bills that were tabled for the first reading. Topping those bills, I want to bring it to the public's attention. One that was of great importance to them was the bill speaking to the former president's benefits and other facilities, Bill number 10 of 2026. I would submit to Guyanese that that is all they came for. They were instructed to come so that this bill would be read for the first time, and at another date it would be debated, read for the second time, and passed into law. Because of course they have the majority. Guyanese must understand at this point that we are no longer in a democratic society. This is a dictatorship that we're living in. When you cannot be afforded the time in your own national assemblies, 65 elected members, and we cannot be afforded the time in our own national assembly, then something is wrong. They ask, and many times they spoke about the opposition not having work or not having business for the other people. But the opposition has in its possession a number of motions, questions passing 100 yet to be answered. But here is a government coming to the National Assembly and just spending 2.5 hours max, if it was so much. But here again, it is the same government when it is something that them, particularly monies, they will keep us from 2 in the afternoon, 10 in the mornings, until 5 the other morning. Again, we see them coming. This is order financial paper number 1 of 2026. $54.8 billion this government is coming for. Just a few months after the passage of $1.558 trillion, we have not yet finally crossed the halfway mark of the year. Are they saying to us that they would have completely spent that $1.55 trillion, that they can come today to ask of this National Assembly, ask of the Guyanese, because it is Guyanese money, for another $54.5 billion. And I'll tell you just 1 or 2 things that stood out. Under the sector that I shadow in particular, Gaisuko is asking under the Ministry of Agriculture for yet another $3 billion. Guyanese, we must understand this is a failed entity, an entity that cannot sustain itself, an entity that depends upon the government, an entity that is poorly managed, an entity that doesn't give to the economy anything. But it is taken at this time another $3 billion. That is on top of the $13.4 billion that was just passed in February. This entity is sucking the economy dry. We saw just a few months ago, as the rains started, every village, the city, every corner, we had flood waters. Just a few days ago, the president himself had to go to the Maikoni Creek because the river was overtopping. And he spoke about bringing relief to those residents. But they had $89.1 billion in February to spend on NDIE. My fellow Guyanese, again they return under National Drainage and Irrigation Authority for another $4.5 billion. But yet for all, every single day, Guyanese are experiencing flood waters after just about 3-4 hours of rainfall. This is where we need to deliberate. This is where we need to meet to ensure that what we do will bring relief to the Guyanese. Not only with the monies, but to speak on motions and bills that will change the way things are being done. To speak on how we must do or what we must do different so as to ensure that what happened in the past does not reoccur. But the government doesn't want to sit here. The government doesn't want to deliberate. The government doesn't want to make this house a place that will better the lives of our Guyanese people. And so they come to the house and they speak for just about 2 hours or so and they leave. Guyanese, we must understand, this is serious time. And if we take this action today of just under 2 hours of a sitting of the National Assembly lightly, then we are heading down the wrong direction. It is a time for us to band ourselves together as a people. And let us remember and understand that the real power lies in the people who elected us to be here in the National Assembly. And you have elected us, you have elected this government. And if you want to see difference, you want to see change, you want to see progress in this country, then hold this government accountable. It is time for the people's power. No longer must we sit back idly and allow this government to ride over Guyanese. Thank you.
As you just know, who are the MP, definitely what he's speaking is definitely on point, and I hope Guyanese people open their eyes, because I don't know how much longer we are going to be telling Guyanese people open your eye, open your eye, open your eye. I don't feel y'all blind, or we say Guyanese people blind. I think y'all in a coma. Y'all gotta come out of that coma. And y'all gotta get wise and hip to what really going on, bro. You understand? The sweetness look like it's a sweetness, but the sweetness is not like that. Now we are thinking. I know what I'm telling you. But you guys leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what's your thoughts on this, definitely. Now this whole cash grant situation still is going on, whereby a lot of persons are now haven't received their cash grant. What really going on? It seems like only persons that working in the government area or sectors and so forth really was eligible to receive their cash grant. We have Eternity Enterprise burning a wicked piece of fire on the minister. Viewers, let's get this.
Mr. Ashley Singh, most of the people are aware that a lot of teachers, a lot of nurses, a lot of police, a lot of soldiers, a lot of phlebotomists, microscopists, lab techs, medics, and the people in the public sector receive the cash grant. Everybody know the Minister Ashley Singh. Right now the concern is the people that do not have bank accounts that we are concerned about. The old woman from the west side that called me and told me, "Sir, what you can do for me? Do something for me now. I close down my two accounts. My account, I have to close them down because when I get sick, I have to pay money at the doctor. Oh, I get no more money left, son. What you can do for me? You can't give me Azadi Mohammed number. You can't call them and talk to them for me. I'm supposed to see my doctor. These are the calls that I'm getting." Another single mother called me. She said, "Sorry, I don't understand why they make this thing so complicated. Right now, me working, I ain't work long. And now I start do little 10-day work. I gotta wait some amount of time before I get the money, so I can't get the account." Everybody calling me Minister Ashley Singh that don't have bank accounts, that this requirement is making it difficult for them to access the cash grant. And as you know, Minister Ashley Singh, the whole government got 58% of our people living in poverty in the fastest growing economy, with one of the highest gross domestic product earnings per capita, one of the largest oil producing nations per capita. You have the people in poverty, so the people desperately need this $100,000. They're surviving, no doubt, because they have no choice but to survive. But people are getting real difficulties with accessing what's supposed to be a simple process. Because the way you speak about it, Minister Ashley Singh, and PPP affiliates, as if it's a simple process. You guys can't empathize with the poor people. You can't put your foot in their shoes. You guys just don't understand it. Now, while for someone like me that's a teacher, and for the nurse and the police and so on, it's simple, because you already have most of our information. You made sure of that ever since election time. While it's simple for us, I have realized that what I thought was simple is very difficult for someone out there that has never really owned a bank account, that lives in some remote area, that is probably bedridden, someone that may be blind or nursing whatever injuries, they cannot access the banks, Minister Ashley Singh. So what you guys have to focus on now, Minister Ashley Singh, is getting the money to these people. The people that don't have accounts are priority. You guys need to start printing the checks. Open out offices in the different municipalities. Do a community call for the people in those communities, the old people, the shut-ins. Let them come in and you guys register as much as you can within the next week so the people can get this cash grant, Minister Ashley Singh. It's like you guys are going to take this straight to the end of the year. This is a simple process, Minister Ashley Singh. You guys did it before. Why is it taking so long? You're stressing the people out. And while we're on cash grant, Minister Ashley Singh, what happens exactly to the people that are in prison? Do they get their cash grant? This is some of what the people are asking me. They want to know if the prisoners and the inmates that in jail, if they receive their cash grants. They want to know if their names are a part of the cash grant list. And if so, how do they get that cash grant? Do the government go and give and let them sign up in jail? We know they can't get a bank account from in jail, right? And we know you guys are not printing pink checks. So what happens to the people that are in jail, that are citizens of this country? They may not be part of the voters list. Don't hold me to that. But what happens to them? You see, this is what happens when we don't have transparency. And this is how you see these guys are able to become billionaires easy. I must make reference to that universal health voucher again. $5 billion placed into that initiative, that universal health voucher initiative. And when I saw my voucher right in this house, it made me wonder how many people really use that voucher. How many of you used it, guys? $5 billion. $10,000 little health voucher like this. Mine was left at home. I would argue less than a third of Guyana knew about that qualified for it. And I would argue of the third that may have qualified for it, less than a third of that used it. So where did that $5 billion go? These men are smart when it comes to setting up things so that they can make money for themselves. This is how you see they get rich overnight, you know. This is how you see Johnny come lately, Susan Rodriguez can own all the things she owned in such a short time. And according to the president, she justified it to him. But we haven't seen clear financial statements. We are asking for the ministers of government to release their financial statements prior to 2020 and then release their financial statements for now, 2026. Release their assets they own prior to 2020 and release the assets they own to date. We are asking for that. We are asking for Minister Gail Teixeira to look into these things. The Integrity Commission, they aren't ensuring integrity. And we, right now, are aware that the money that you guys are withholding from us, you guys have found means to get them to get it to yourselves. So we want to know what happens to the prisoners' money, and we want to know what happened to the old people that were a part of that cash grant list that may have met their obsequies, that would have died already. What happens to their money? These are the people we want to know about. What happens to the people that are way out of bounds and they don't come to collect the money? What happens to those money? Brothers and sisters, you see, if we don't pay attention to these people will be trillionaires and we will be broke, in debt, in famine, with even worse economic situations than we're being faced with today. And mind you, today we are the fastest growing economy, with the largest gross domestic product earning per capita, one of the largest oil producing nations per capita. And yet still we have high rates of poverty, some of the highest rates of poverty in South America. Lowest salaries, highest cost of living, which equates to high rates of poverty in this country. And these guys that just come on the media and talk up a storm, that recently we have more than 400,000 public service workers with a benefit, and the bank accounts are the fastest way for you to access the cash grants. People don't have it, Minister Ashley Singh. And the people that don't have it, they're saying that it's burdensome. For some of them, it's almost impossible for them to meet the requirements with this online portal that people got to register on. For them to meet the requirements, many of them are saying they're never going to meet it. And we are worried that if they don't meet it, and the time elapses, and they don't get the money, where does that money go? How do you make sure that the general public knows that the government was frugal with our money, and that that money went back into a consolidated fund? How do we know that these things are happening? Now, brothers and sisters, I know you guys are frustrated. I know you guys are desperately waiting on this cash grant. But it seems this minister and these ministers are more interested in spreading narratives and spinning rhetorics so that they continue to seem great while they have 58% of you in poverty. Now, Minister Ashley Singh, like I said, everyone is aware that the public service workers, a large percentage of them would have been given the cash grant and they received it. It's the people that have not received it that the requirements is making it very difficult for them, that we're concerned about. The old people, the same old woman that called me and the single mothers that calling me. You need to simplify the process. Set up places where the people can come, get their help and get registered during the same day. Do as much as you can within the next month so that the people can get their money so that we can overcome this cash grant issue, because this seems to be the only thing you concern with, Minister Ashley Singh. You're not speaking about writing budgets for the Guyanese people to benefit. You're speaking about writing budgets that you guys can make money, like the universal health voucher and the cash grant. So we're waiting to hear you guys address what happens to the prisoners if they're part of the cash grant list, and show us if they're not, and what happened to the old people that were a part of the cash grant list that would have died and that are right now hospitalized permanently, facing terminal illnesses and all of these things. We want a clear financial breakdown, and we're asking for the international bodies to pay attention.
Like telling you, boy. You ever know, you know, they got that thing I used to play with dog. He said I was fed up. I was tired. I was fed up. This is how I feel. I was tired and fed up right now, because it's 5 more years. There ain't nothing you could do. 5 years you gotta wait until election time again. The only thing I just hoping that they don't suck everything before the 5 years done. And I just hoping that we get betterment after this 5 years with somebody else who truly is for the people. Because me and Fry came body, PPP bullet. PPP is bullet body. It's bullet, because just hearing what the man saying there, you know what I mean? It's straight. A lot of things, this is why I love with Eternity Enterprise. The man is getting real facts. You see me? Mr. Ashley Singh does bulletin down the place. This is why they're saying, one to the people them who ain't got an account, one to the people who is not a public servant worker, one to them. What's wrong with them? Let me know in the comment section. Now if you think it's joke I'm making about when I say that all persons who ain't go far in school for know how to fill up the application online. Persons who don't know about internet to fill up the applications online. Persons who don't have a device to fill up the applications online. Persons who is not within internet range to fill up the application online. And persons who they went far in school, like I said, to fill up the applications online.
Hey, I see the cash grant farm thing I want to follow out on the fucking internet. I don't know if people literate, illiterate, cross-literate, dissected, literate. I don't even fucking care, neither. Then a girl went on to explain that you actually have to have a bank account to proceed with the following with the credentials. I mean, what happened to them people? Were them mentally challenged? Because the fight I had last time, okay, me says it bank. Me got discount again. I entered credentials from the last fucking time with this count IDs is do really, man. Use back that document. Y'all fully aware of who and who turned 18 from February gone there. Y'all full and no, don't play a script. And I just asked him for me, my friend, again. I like if your man got a bank account and you got on. Remember, your mom money is your money. And you use his credential. Serious. You use the bank setup for your money to go there. Is that possible? Because he didn't give me money, I get him money too. But I just asked him because I like at this point, like I just want, like the government I just fed up with your body. We went through this. This is the reason we went through it in the hot sun the last time, buddy. We're going through that game. I understand you're trying to avoid the long line. It's like you're trying to do something and creating another storm. Hate with people like me who ain't fucking literate fully. Because when I see the 11 steps, I don't start get archive. I can't even climb 3 flights of stairs. Yeah, give me 11 fucking steps for go through, for put up something for going in a bank. I get up on the ice with anybody. Up on the ice, because I don't understand. Just lose back the credentials. There people that are mentally challenged, physically challenged. Alright, Libby just said I live there in a wheelchair, right? She collected 100,000 last year. Now, Libby says she don't have a bank set up. Is she being forced to go and get a bank set up, or yeah, shine the light, like I said, my head ain't full 200. Is she being forced to go and set up a bank account? Or let's say the person or the guardian that's looking after her could use their bank setup to accept her 100,000. Yeah, make I understand because I ready for go to work for this 100,000. I serious. I want my money and I want somebody to give my hard time. It's my democratic rights. So even if you have that, go on the corner again and share it, it's going to get it right.
I'm telling you, man, and get you 7 steps. So it's 7 steps you gotta take before you could pull it up online. Basically, this is what she's saying. But she got a point because the last time I can remember we did an upload where by a female said it complicated. You know what I mean? It complicated. Now, persons were saying because most of these videos was going to Muhammad, and people was thinking that, you know, Muhammad must be paid them and all them. But this is squad. Excuse my language. They do have people going through problems because this girl is so, you know, despite I rate she and I love how she's talk, you know what I mean? I know she's smart, and if she could say fatiguing, it's fatiguing, bro. This is what I tell people. This is what I'm saying all the time. At least the government's supposed to got a call center where you could call in and get help. So persons could carry you through this thing if you don't have a right sense, if you're illiterate, if you didn't went far in school, these kind of things. Put something in place, because like she said, you're trying to develop something better but still creating a stand within doing it. Because people don't cuss already for the any son. Who get blackout, pass away this though. So you say, alright, and we understand. But now look at this. It's more stress because the amount of people who fatigue. Now she say about dying with your spouse. I feel dumb as you got. I can't say it could happen, but I feel like the only way it could happen is if you married to this man. Is I can't remember you and he got the same title. But if you and he got the same title, I doubt whether you could use his bank account information to full up an account for your 100,000. I think it could work if you and he's married, because maybe you're carrying his title. It should, I don't know, but I just peeping upon a level like that. You know what I mean? But you guys leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what's your thoughts on this. Anyway, we got Jack the Ripper. Definitely with a serious message for the Guyanese people, because guess what? So far as beer madness going on, craziness. You understand? Police brutality. 2 going to end up drowned in. You telling you? Mother beating daughter. No, it's a little 4-year-old or something like that, or 7-year-old, something like that, going to lose his life. Already going on in Guyana, boy. Jack. Take it over, brother.
Yes, Father. Touch Guyana. Please, touch Guyana. Cover me with the blood of Jesus. I don't know what's going on in this country right now. I really and truly don't know what's going on in this country. R.I.P. for the family that lost a loved one this morning. A little 7-year-old God angel. Right? Life was being taken. He was murdered. Okay? He was murdered by bandits. These bandits gotta be some fucking family related. Somebody want granny property. Because if you watch a granny property, okay, you could see granny in there for no sap. You understand? Granny in there for no sap. Granny place unpainted. Eh? Struggling pensioner getting she little money. A little fine help from your kids. Or whatever relative. You don't go in your house, brother. Younger mother. Younger sister. Younger niece. Younger nephew. You don't come from a woman. I just robot sorrow. Government are calling for you. Calling for the government of the Cooperated Republic of Guyana. Start hanging these banners. So long as you got credible information and evidence, start hanging these banners. Start killing these banners. Because the longer y'all take for acting, got people just living off of taxpayers' dollar. Banner coming out and doing the same thing over and over, bro. Look, we just lose another little child. He could have become the next president, the next minister, the next prime minister. Some big time detective or something, bro. He could be a great impact to this country. Then he literally got your little future ahead of you. You think a man and walk off the road and going to hide these people's house? Yeah, start checking these cameras. To me, this seems like this family related one granny house. You understand? And when you could injure a little boy, you don't even say where you catch you and you tie up your mouth, nothing at all. When you murder a little child, the child got to know you. You got to be some family member. And you want granny house. You understand? Make you could carry out a vicious act like that. A very malicious and vicious act like that. I don't know where this country really turn into. Where this country really turn into. How you want tourists come to this country? When I hear Guyanese granny house, granny ain't even comfortable in your own house, eh? What granny could possibly have in your house that I hear Guyanese in the woman house? Choking your grandchild and killing your grandchild. It got to be family related, bro. Some family who got plans for the house and the land. You understand? There's not unalive, there's murder. And Father, I calling on you, Father. Heavenly Father, I calling on you. Touch this country. Cover it with the blood of Jesus. Because for the last couple mornings, if it's not terrible accident claiming the life of our Guyanese citizen brothers and sisters, it's murder. It's drowning. It's something. Poisoning, hanging, something, somebody jumping through hospital window. We really need a social media influencer and content creator. Hopefully we get a night to pray for this country, bro. This country really need prayers. This country heading, I don't know where it's heading. People say they've seen a lot of development, but we've seen a lot of murders. We've seen a lot of accident. There's a part of the development. How about we come together and pray? We come together for go to all of these shows and these things. We come together and pray. Pray for this country. This country need a lot of prayers. The prayers gonna go and touch certain ministers' heart and they're gonna free up the house and land for the people, for the less fortunate. Land that people could plant food. You understand? Even if you're poor, you could eat fruits and you could eat snacks because you got a business. You understand? We pray for touch the ministers' them heart and they look out for the interest of the Guyanese citizen. Okay? Let we pray, people. Let we come together. Praise move mountain. No man bigger than God. Okay? Jackie Ripper Body Ration Scraper checking in and checking out. R.I.P. For the little young man that lost his life to his family. So sad. If y'all need any contribution, y'all contact me on 615-9595, 614-7714. Any amount of contribution y'all need, y'all contact me.
Well, Jack the Ripper, big up yourself, boy. Big up your damn self. You know the code go already. Real thing. Prayers needed by Prayers Move Mountain. Real talk. Me know it's one guy in Guyana Skype. Why they look for kill the youth, man? This is why you wanna like, why would they kill the youth, man? Like, shut up, boy. That's crazy, Jack. Right now, yes, I don't even know, cause the story crazy. It's like, man. Anyway, drop those comments in the comment section. Let me know what's your thoughts. Definitely, if you guys watch the video so far, feel free to give the video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, put your post notification bell on. You understand? Run up the likes on this one here. So, until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. Your boy Fire Feelings, Fire Feelings. You don't know what right now. Let's start the things TV. We out.